Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom. Brought to us by Michael Schott. I'm sure I've slaughtered that name, I apologize. And Stronghold Games. They also were the ones who brought us Little Devils, reviewed a week or so ago. And Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom is a game for 2 to 4 players, ages 7 and up, and takes about 20 minutes to play. Could be less for if you're playing with 2 players. So again, a nice tin. All the components fit in there nicely. The card quality is pretty good, and the instruction booklet is again provides good illustrations. It even provides some fun background information on the monsters in the game. And we have set up here a 2-player game here. They're in the thick of it. We have Ducky over here and Fishy, and they're playing a game here. So basically the setup of the game, you have 4 different colored monsters, and the monster cards range from 1 to 6. And you'll notice here, as the mature ones are the infant stage, and they go on up to number 6, where they are full-grown scary monsters. And so all of these will be face to the positive side, and players take turns from their hand laying cards down onto the playing area next to the little plus or minus signs. And so for here, you have to play a card that's 3 or higher. So Ducky here has a 2. He won't be able to play that on to the red monster pile. And in a 2-player game, players are dealt 12 cards. In 3 or 4 player games, players are dealt 10 cards. There's a little pile that you'll set aside here of 8 cards. So really you're only playing with, part of the deck, and some you'll set aside out of play for that game, for that round. In a 2-player game, you're going to be playing 2 rounds. 3-player game, 3 rounds. 4-player game, 4 rounds. So for this 2-player game, they're in this first game still, and the game ends when the first person is able to get rid of all of their cards. And they basically, you'll score points, which you do not want to do, according to what's shown in the middle of the cards. So we have 1 point here, 2 points for that guy, and 0 points for the cards that have that little DNA symbol type thing on them. And pretty self-explanatory on being able to play cards up and down. And what happens throughout the game is, we'll explain this DNA thing. So for a 1, what you can actually do with this DNA, any cards with that, you're able to play another DNA type card. So you can jump from 1 to 6, and from 6 to 1. So you can use that to your advantage. They're very, very helpful cards, and they're also worth 0 points though. So you may want to hold on to those because you're trying to get rid of the higher point cards in your hand, but they're really nice to play because you might be put in a situation where, let's say this was switched and it was at 6, and you didn't have any cards that you could play, and you had a 4 green that you needed to play, well, you can go ahead and play the 1, and now you would be able to play the 4. You can also match numbers, and that's where that little side pile comes in. So Ducky here has a 2. He can go ahead and play this 2 on top of there. Boom. And then he can either change one of these, any of these machine cards to the other side, making it negative. So now he would be able to play in the future his number 2, which would be, we're going lower than 3. Or he could say, hey Fishy, you have to draw a card. Oh man. And so Fishy would come over to the pile here and draw a card and add it to his hand. And that's the game. It's really fun. Me and my wife have enjoyed playing it, and the illustrations on the cards are really fun as well. It kind of reminds me of Pokemon, and the little evolution of the monsters there. They don't seem too menacing when they're just little, but as they get to the 6, they get pretty gnarly looking. So anyway, that is Crazy Creatures of Dr. Gloom. Great little quick-paced card game. Go ahead and check it out.